Yo, what up, my guys? My homies? I can't believe I just said that, but we're gonna roll with it. I am here because it's quarantine and I am trying to figure out what to do with my Saturday. I know that I love Star Wars movies, and I know that a lot of my friends love Star Wars movies and other Star Wars media. So I thought I would make a Star Wars ranking, Star Wars tier list, because this is, I love ranking things and I'm always changing my mind. But in my head, I'm always like thinking about like, well, which one did I like better? Which one did I like worse? So I decided to do a Star Wars film and TV show ranking list. This is canon Star Wars stuff, not including the Samurai Jack Clone Wars thing. I'm not even sure if that's canon right now. I'm thinking it's probably not, but maybe it is. And also not including Star Wars Resistance because I haven't seen that, or the I also have not seen the shorts there, so not including them. Also not including the Ewok Adventures or the Adventures of R2D2 and C3PO. I don't really remember that. It's been a long time. I don't really consider them like serious like I do this other stuff. So, yeah, let's jump into it. I want to start with episode 1, I think, and just go through every single one chronologically. The Phantom Menace. It was the first Star Wars film I saw in theaters in 1999, and I think I saw it in theaters like 6 times or something. I was in love with this movie when it first came out. I was 6 years old, and I loved it. It was so cool, fighting with laser swords and stuff. I mean, of course, I knew they were lightsabers because even before this movie had come out, I had still seen the original trilogy multiple times. But episode 1, great when I first saw it. Loved it up until probably I was like 16, 17. And then I watched it again. And I was like, wow, that was not what I remember. It's not the best movie. We could say the writing's not the best. It has some really good ideas, but it's weak. I think I'm gonna put it at the bottom. I'm gonna put it at D. Just looking at what I got coming up and thinking about what I got coming up and thinking about this movie. I may move it up to C later on, but at this point in time, I think it's the worst out of anything I have here. Episode 2, the second worst, I think, out of anything that I have here. It might even be worse than episode 1. I don't know. It's the end is so cool, like with Yoda against Dooku, and then it's got some really good parts with Obi-Wan going and investigating. The whole Obi-Wan arc in this movie is very good. Obi-Wan investigating the assassination, going to Kamino and discovering from his point of view the origins of the Grand Army of the Republic, and then bringing it to the Jedi. It's, might put it in C. The Anakin stuff is very weak with Anakin and Padme, especially when they're on Naboo, and then even when they're on Geonosis together, it's extraordinarily cringy. But you do get, I'm going to put it in C. You do get to see some of Anakin showing signs of what's going to happen to him, you know? So that plus the Obi-Wan stuff, I think might put it in C. I might move it back down to D later. Solo. This is not in order, but we're going with it. Solo, I went into the Solo movie with very low expectations. I was not sure about the guy that they cast as Han. I wasn't really sure that making a Solo movie was the right thing to do at the time. I really, really liked Rogue One, and I thought going back with old characters was not the right call, but it ended up being really good. It's still not my favorite, but I was blown away after I saw it. I was like, wow, so much better than I expected. Definitely willing to see it again. I might have seen it twice in theaters. I can't remember. Definitely better than Clone Wars, the Attack of the Clones, I mean. Oh, let's go B. It's not, I wouldn't say it's A class, but it's better than Attack of the Clones, which I have in C. So I guess I'll stick with it in B for now. Revenge of the Sith. I really like Revenge of the Sith. The acting, I don't even know if I can say it's the acting, but the writing at some points, the whole like Anakin, wow, nice horn. Thanks. I'm in the middle of a neighborhood. And I don't even know why they need to do that. But anyway, the writing of Anakin's fall, like the dialect, I think we all know it's not the best. Once again, Obi-Wan and his whole arc, fantastic. And the Palpatine Yoda stuff, mostly the Palpatine stuff was really good. I think I'm going to put it in A. I might even move it up to S tier. I'm going to put it in A for now. I think I'm going to move it up to S tier later, but right now it's A. A New Hope. Also between A and S. It is maybe the best movie in the series, but it doesn't have everything that I love. I really am a sucker for the lightsaber fights, which is one reason why I love episode 2, like the end of episode 2, and especially episode 3, because episode 3 has a ton of that. And it was like my biggest, not complaint, because I understand it, but it was my biggest sadness, I guess, with the new trilogy, that we didn't have any super cool lightsaber fights like we did with the prequel trilogy, or even some parts of the original trilogy. So that's like where episode 4 falls short for me, but in every other category, it crushes it out of the park. So I think I'm going to put it in S tier. Empire Strikes Back, S tier, definitely. It's funny, I'll say this. The Empire Strikes Back is probably the best movie in the entire series. But I also think it's overrated. The amount of people who think Empire Strikes Back is better than is far and away better than episode 4 and episode 6 and episode 3 are crazy. It is slightly better, and like I said, I'm a sucker for the lightsaber fights like we see in episode 3, which the original trilogy doesn't really have that. And the lightsaber fight at the end of Empire is not as good as the lightsaber fight at the end of Return of the Jedi. So it's the child in me a little bit, definitely. But maybe it's just because I've seen it so many times. But I even like story wise, I really like episode 4. Like Empire has, of course, the discovery of Yoda and the Hoth scenes at the beginning. Going to Bespin is really cool, and of course, like Boba Fett and Darth Vader, that was awesome too. I don't know which one I like more. I probably still put Empire ahead of A New Hope. They are really close for me, though. I think, and even Return of the Jedi. The Ewok stuff is. I'll save that for when we get there, which is right now. Return of the Jedi. We all know the Ewok stuff brings it down, but everything else about this movie, I really like. The opening scene where Luke goes to Jabba's palace, he takes on the Rancor, they save Han. I mean, I was probably 4 or 5 years old when Luke was on the sand speeder or sand float, I don't know, whatever it's called, and he's captured. And R2 like shoots his lightsaber out, and Luke catches it and starts fighting everybody. And 5-year-old me was going absolutely bomb. I would like my eyes were, oh my god, and I was like, this is so cool. I didn't even notice that he didn't kick that guy, but apparently he didn't. And the guy still fell over. I mean, we can just chalk that up to the Force, right? So, I mean, Return of the Jedi has some really good stuff. If it wasn't for like the cheesy kind of cringy Ewok stuff, it would probably be my favorite movie in the whole series. I think I'm going to put it below. I think I'm going to put it in A, but still below Revenge of the Sith. This is A New Hope. Sorry. I should be clear that I don't want to like rank the Star Wars movies by the shockingness of their endings. It's not. It's not like they're narrative masterpieces, you know. But just the execution, I guess. And the original trilogy executed things better. I still think I like Revenge of the Sith and seeing Anakin's fall and seeing his hatred. And the way Hayden Christensen acted like those last 30, 45 minutes, and of course Obi-Wan as well. It was excellent. The end of Revenge of the Sith is some of the best Star Wars, like the last 30 to 45 minutes is some of the best Star Wars in the entire franchise. So with that in mind, I think I put Revenge of the Sith ahead of Return of the Jedi in the A class. Moving on, The Force Awakens. I love this movie. The first time I saw it, I was like, okay, that was cool. And then I watched it again and again and again. And like every time I watch it, it gets better. And there's more things I like about it. I love that they went back and rehashed kind of the original trilogy, and they did like the whole trilogy in one movie. And Rey trying to discover who she is, and then Ben, Kylo killing his dad. I mean, we all kind of knew that was coming, but it was executed so well. Chewie getting upset, and Finn and Poe are great additions to the universe. I feel like I'm using the word cool way too often, but it's A class. It's not better than Revenge of the Sith or as good as A New Hope, and it's probably not even as good as Return of the Jedi, but it's solid A. They set up, I mean, the end of The Force Awakens, where they could have gone with it. The sequel trilogy definitely could have been like the best. You can say this about any of them, but the sequel trilogy had so much potential, and it was a little disappointing to see what happened next. Let's go there now. The Last Jedi. Everything with Rey and Kylo in this movie is great. I love it. Their connection, Kylo discovering about her past, and Rey trying to learn about the Jedi and the darkness within herself, and also Kylo kind of struggling with his own place in the universe. It was fantastic. I don't know what they were thinking with Finn and Poe and Leia and everybody else in the movie, because the first time I saw the movie, I was like, okay, that was cool. And then I watched it again and again, and I started to understand other people's complaints about the movie. How stupid. Like, that casino planet was so pointless. And I really think they didn't know what to do with Finn. They weren't really sure what to do with Leia. They weren't sure what to do with Poe. They wanted to create an arc that would turn Poe into a leader. So I listened to the podcast recently from Optimus. I was the Ruminations of the Red Room or something like that, and he was talking about Rose's place in this movie, and he mentioned that, or I think it was him, it might have been somebody else in the podcast actually, but whoever it was, they mentioned that something interesting that I hadn't thought of with Rose, because her character was like, she wasn't a bad character, but it felt so misplaced. Anyway, they mentioned that Johnson might have been trying to go with like the perspective of somebody who is just a grunt, and what the resistance is like from their perspective. Somebody who had loved ones die, but it really didn't come together that well. I think I put it in C, and I don't even know if I put it above Attack of the Clones. I don't think I do. I think it's worse than Attack of the Clones. It's so hard, but I think the bad parts in Attack of the Clones are not even as bad as the bad parts in The Last Jedi, but the good parts in The Last Jedi are better than the good parts in Attack of the Clones, like Luke at the end and Rey and Kyle. Okay, I probably put it in C class, but above Attack of the Clones. Okay. The Force Awakens. Not The Force Awakens. The Rise of Skywalker. I love this movie. I had no idea how they're going to wrap anything up after The Last Jedi. I mean, I was like, The Last Jedi, what are they going to do after The Last Jedi? I have no idea. There's a kid using the Force on the broom, and then there's like Rey and Kylo, and we don't even know who Snoke was, and he's dead. And like, what's going on? I have no idea. I don't know where they could have gone with it to do it better than they did in this movie. It's not what I wanted the trilogy to end on, but after The Last Jedi, I feel like kind of threw a wrench in things. It is like the best possible ending that they could have done. And I don't even think The Last Jedi throwing a wrench in things is Rian Johnson's fault completely. I think J.J. Abrams has a tendency to write really good beginnings and not know how to finish them. I think the same thing happened with this Star Wars trilogy that happened with Lost, where he wrote an excellent outline of something that is happening in the universe, and he directed it really well and made really interesting characters, but wasn't entirely sure where he was going to go with it, and gave Rian Johnson some ideas, but nothing really concrete to lead into. And so Rian Johnson took it where he wanted, and then it obviously was not cohesive with the rest of them, with the other movies, which caused a lot of problems for Episode 9. And I think Episode 9 was a fantastic, fast-paced ride. They cleaned up almost every question that I had. They answered who Snoke was. They brought Palpatine back, and it was cool bringing Palpatine back, because he was like, he was the evil mastermind in the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, and now it turns out he's behind everything in the sequel trilogy as well. And I think it's not better than but the end was executed so well with Rey harnessing the power of all the past Jedi to fight against Sidious, who had been who was like a culmination of Sith from years past. It was excellent. Sidious at the end was so cool. Man, do I put it above The Force Awakens? Do I put it above even Return of the Jedi? I think I do. I think I put it A class ahead of Return of the Jedi. Yeah. Yeah. I think this is what I do. Getting into, well, let's do Rogue One. I was going to go in order of everything that was here, but let's finish off the movies and then get into the TV stuff. Rogue One might be the best movie. It's not the best movie in the whole franchise. But is it though? I was not sure what to expect going into Rogue One, and it blew me away in every capacity. Chirrut was like such a good. I didn't think there was going to be any Force. I mean, obviously maybe some Easter eggs or something, but no Force related characters. Chirrut obviously had some sort of connection with the Force, whether it was conscious or not. The Force was obviously protecting him in some way, and it was awesome to see. Saw Gerrera getting into the kind of the darkness of what the rebellion had to, some of what the rebellion had to do or had to ally itself with. The whole movie, like Krennic was a great character. Darth Vader. The pun was interesting. I didn't hate it. I was like not totally in love with it either, but it made me chuckle, and I thought it was something that I could see Anakin doing, so it was also something that I could see, especially Clone Wars Anakin. So I thought it would make sense for something that Darth Vader to do as well. I think it's better than The Force Awakens. I think it's better than Return of the Jedi. I don't think it's better than Revenge of the Sith. So let me pose this question to myself. If I wanted to watch a movie again, and I had the choice of The Rise of Skywalker or Rogue One, which one would I choose? And I think I choose Rogue One. So I'm going to put Rogue One in A class above The Rise of Skywalker. But it's close. The Rise of Skywalker is more Star Warsy though, and has much more fan service. I think I do put Rise of Skywalker above Rogue One. Even though Rogue One's probably the better movie overall, The Rise of Skywalker gets my Star Wars tingle going hard. So I think I put it ahead of Rogue One. And I think I put Rogue One ahead of Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. Yep, I'm confident with that. Star Wars Rebels. Star Wars Rebels is some of the best Star Wars in the entire franchise. The last 2 seasons are phenomenal. The first 2 seasons are very good. The last couple episodes are magnificent. I think I put Rebels at the tippity top of Star Wars. It has comedic relief with Zeb and Chopper, but they also have their own serious moments. Hera and Kanan are kind of a couple, but also discovering their place, struggling with their place in the rebellion, their place with each other, and Kanan's obviously place with his role as a Jedi and a Jedi Master, and then Hera as a Twi'lek and daughter of the leader of her people, and then Kanan becoming a Jedi, Ezra going from a nobody street rat into turning himself into a Jedi Knight, I would say, by the end of the series. Of course, Sabine has all her stuff with the Mandalorians. Agent Kallus was a great character. Thrawn, everybody, I mean, Star Wars fans love Thrawn. Oh, man. And then Maul and his... Rebels is the best. Yeah. Rebels is the best. The Mandalorian. I love The Mandalorian. It's right around here with Solo, I think. It's great. It has the Force. It has awesome Western themes. There's nothing too deep about it. Each episode is super cool. Like the prison ship episode was probably my favorite, and then also the last 2 episodes, and then the end, the reveal with the Darksaber. If that's a spoiler for you, I'm very sorry. You shouldn't be watching this video. Wow. I think I put it, but it's not deep, right? There's nothing really that much more than surface level here. It's a Western in space, and I love it. It's better than Solo, but it's not better than The Force. Well, it's probably better than The Force Awakens, but it's not better than Return of the Jedi. Okay, I'm going to bring The Force Awakens down to B and have The Mandalorian at the top of B, better than The Force Awakens and better than Solo. Yep, I feel good with that. The Clone Wars movie. I'll be honest, I don't remember this super well. It's been a while since I watched it, and when I watched it, I wasn't a huge fan of it. It gets into the origins of Ahsoka in the entire Star Wars universe. Ahsoka's probably the best character in the entire Star Wars universe as far as character arc goes, and I'm so excited to see more from her in The Mandalorian Season 2 and possibly more Rebels if that happens. It's not better than Solo. Is it even better than Episode 1? It probably is better. I'm going to put it in D class ahead of Episode 1. The Clone Wars TV show. I will tell you, I thought about putting in different seasons of this show to list as different pieces of content because Clone Wars Season 1 and Clone Wars Season 7 are not on the same level at all. Season 7 is S tier, probably better than Rebels even. Definitely better than Empire, definitely better than New Hope. Season 7 is up there. Season 1 is down here. It is cringy, the animation is bad, and it goes on, and like Season 1 is really bad. Like the Sky Guy stuff from Ahsoka and Jar Jar. I mean, and Season 2 might be better than Season 1, but not by much. Season 3 is really where it hits its stride, and Season 4, it gets really good. 4, 5, 6 are really good. Season 3 is good, and 7 is a masterpiece. Overall, it's not better than The Rise of Skywalker. Is it better than Return of the Jedi? No. I'm going to put it top B again, like Mandalorian. It's the Season 7 is so good. Season 1 is so bad. I think I put it. It's above Mandalorian for sure, and it's above The Force Awakens. It might be overall. It's not better than Return of the Jedi. Yeah, it's bottom A. It's bottom A. And that's where I finish. Yeah. I think it's a pretty good list. I feel confident. Of course, my opinions change all the time. People change my opinions all the time when they give me new perspectives or perspectives that I knew about and then forgot and then remember, which happens all the time. So yeah, Rebels at the tippity top, followed by Empire, followed by A New Hope, Clone Wars, bottom of A, Revenge of the Sith, top of A. Yeah, these definitely probably belong in the bottom. So yeah, let me know what you think. And if you're in an Xbox Live party with me or on a podcast with me or something like that, give me your thoughts. Thank you for watching.